welcome to the space. Welcome to our house. My husband Josh is joining us today.
What's up, everyone?
We are spilling the tea, except this is cold tea, so don't be fooled. I've got questions that I've been asked on Instagram. We did a little poll and people answered, which is really cool. Cheers, Sydney, to 100 days of lockdown.
Too long.
Yeah, we need hairstylists, we need barbers.
This is what 400 days of. I literally went and got a last haircut and it was like a week before. How many months is in 100 days?
Like 3, 2.5, almost 3. Sorry, 3.5. So roughly 3. So we already knew we were pregnant.
You already knew. Because we went into lockdown when?
And 100 days ago. So what we're gonna do is I've just basically put all of this in our good old hat, and we're gonna take turns pulling from a question and then we'll answer it, okay?
Sounds good.
And because you are my guest, I want you to go first.
Okay, did you have issues overcoming each other's past relationships?
Oh, spicy.
I think we're honest about them. I feel like some people make too big a deal out of people's past. I feel like at the end of the day, you can talk about it and you need to, there's some things you need to know, but there's a lot of things that you don't need to know because frankly it's none of my business what you did in your past and I can't hold you accountable. I love you for who you are now, and if that didn't happen then, you wouldn't be who you are now.
That's right. That's a good answer.
What's your answer?
I think that the older I get, the more I realize how much it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I think when you're really young, sometimes you feel like you have to open Pandora's box in a way, right from the go, first few weeks or few months of dating, and it's let's talk about each other's past. Let's really dive into it, but really you're sometimes doing more harm than you are building your relationship.
I think people focus too much on they need all the details when you don't, you just need the summary.
Yeah.
This happened, I don't need the details of what happened, but at the end of the day, you are here
and that's all that matters. I think unless there's anything that needs to be flagged, whether it's, past trauma or just things that are going to get in the way now still that you're still working on, I think that's important, but...
It also depends on what stage of relationship you're at. You don't need to go on your first couple of dates and then be like, I did this with this person, I did that. That's not necessary. As long as you're not hiding anything, I feel like that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's true. And I think also, when you're starting to get to know someone during dating, I think it can feel okay, tell me your biggest challenges and secrets and I'll tell you mine. You get into stuff that maybe you probably didn't have to. Maybe it's stuff that you could have dealt with on your own, whether it's with your therapist or your pastor or a trusted friend or something, and so I think it goes hand in hand with knowing what your boyfriend, your partner, and your husband's role is, and vice versa, your wife. I'm not going to fix your problems if you tell me all of these different things. It's so good to know and good to be trusted, but it's also well, I'm not qualified to...
You're not my therapist.
Yeah. Anyway. Both perspectives on Anzac Day 2018. Okay, so Anzac Day 2018, we were not dating yet.
Nope.
We went out with our friend, and I met up with a friend before that. So we were all right, let's pre-drink before that.
So very Christian.
You guys had already been at the restaurant/bar for a while because my friend and I got there a bit later. Again, we were not dating, and I remember walking in and you said, "Speaking of sexy," and I was like, what is happening? We ended up actually having a conversation of our own that whole night. It was just everyone was there, but it was really me and you talking. Just the two of us. So we ended up, there's this very like fun Viking bar in Sydney, like in the inner city, and a group of our friends were asked to leave, and so we left. And then I remember ending up at McDonald's. Oh, but on our way to McDonald's, you were walking me to the car, and then I said to you, "You like me, don't you?" And then you said,
Well, duh.
And then I got in the car and I was like, and that's kind of like the rest of the night, really. It's a night to be remembered that if you were there, you remember it. Okay, your turn.
Are you nervous about baby changing you and your marriage? Changing your marriage. Change is natural, part of life. I guess you'd be silly to not be nervous, but I feel like you don't really know where you're going until you get there. You're just gonna be open for the possibilities.
What do you think makes you the most nervous about baby regarding like our relationship?
I'm not the nicest person when I'm tired, so I can only imagine that's just gonna get a little bit worse. But that's just something I need to grow into.
Yeah, same. It's okay. I get grumpy when I'm tired. We all do.
Yeah, but I get mean.
Yeah, you do. How did you know you were ready to get married? Oh.
I was 29.
You're 29 now?
I was 27. I was dating a girl who went to America, and I was like, do I want her to leave or do I want her to stay? And then I just said, I would like for her to stay. And then I don't know, things in my life were lining up, and I just felt like it was the right moment with the right person, and I didn't want her to leave, so I made it happen.
You did. You came to visit. You met all my friends.
And your family.
You met all my family. You met all of my ex-boyfriends. All the whopping 2.
It was,
and then...
what's the movie called?
Ghost of... Is it that one about the ghosts? The girlfriends past?
Not that one. Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I love that movie.
It was like every day was a new ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, like 2. But... but they're all very nice and they're all very
I
sweet.
don't think you've met any of mine. Not that there was many.
I have not met any of your ex-girlfriends. But if it was to happen, I think we're all adults.
Well, I don't think it needs to happen for us a relationship to be successful, that you need to go
Yeah,
through
you don't have to meet
exes.
people's exes to be in a successful relationship. You just have to be mature enough to know that it's about now, not about then.
How did you know you were ready to get married?
I love that your processing is so simple because
Simple man.
it's just like helpful because I am not like that. I'm very complicated, and we both know. We started talking about friendship, faith, marriage, all of that, and I would kind of like try to ask you questions on it. I was going through like a really weird time after college. I deconstructed everything because
I think it was more than just your faith. I think it's your whole life.
Yeah.
Plans.
my plans,
Dreams.
my dreams, my goals, what I really wanted in life,
Who you
and
wanted to be.
who I wanted to be, because a lot of it was career focused. And then when we met, we started talking more about friendships and relationships, which is not necessarily my strong suit. And so then it made me think like, what do I believe of marriage? What do I want marriage to look like for me? Even though it wasn't like with you in the picture, like I wasn't thinking, oh, what would marriage be like with Josh? I was just thinking, well, what do I want in marriage in the future?
We weren't romantic, we were just friends.
Yeah, we were just friends and we would talk about it, which was really sweet. So I had moved back in 2018 in August, and a few weeks after getting back to Arizona, my auntie invited me to New Mexico. We went to this like wild national park because we were just like in awe of like the nature and the wilderness there. And I really started thinking a lot about us because we were dating at the time. I thought, what will life be like with Josh in it, and what will life be like without Josh in it? And to me, life seemed better with you in it. Josh was definitely like someone that makes my life so much better. And so I think out of all of the complicated stuff in life that I make naturally complicated, Josh was the most simple. You were the most simple thing and simple answer. I think that really speaks about our relationship.
Very fair. Next question. Ooh, from all the selection. I read the last one. You read this one.
Was that your? Oh yeah. What excites you most about motherhood and fatherhood?
I think just having a mini me. I don't know. I just, like, you know, he's like teaching the kid to walk, ride his bike, sit there and watch basketball with you, to support the team that you love.
And what team is that?
Chicago Bulls, let's go.
Hopefully they have more wins.
Well, we will this year. Good team in the West. Just the whole thing is just exciting. It's just a new experience. You get to have a little human that you have the chance to learn from you, the life lessons that you had, but then also do greater things than we ever did. It's a great challenge. The challenge is exciting.
Yeah, that's true. And I also feel like, I guess it's the birth of a baby, but it's also like the birth of a father and like the birth of a mother. And that's exciting to me because there's just different parts of ourselves that are gonna be born that day too. For me, I think it's like a chance to raise like another little gentleman. We were talking about this earlier. It makes me really excited to be able to contribute to society, like another little, hopefully polite gentleman who treats women with respect. Yeah, just to raise another kind human. I think I'm excited about that.
Have you talked about parenting styles? I don't even think I've looked up parenting styles.
Well, we've talked about parenting, but not like the styles or...
I think as long as our kid is not necessarily well behaved, but well intentioned, as long as he's doing the right thing because it's the right thing, not because we tell him it's the right thing, that would be my parenting style, but to just guide them rather than tell them what's up. And I think kids, when they learn things for themselves, it means more to them, but the fact that we just point them in a direction and then they take their own steps toward it would be my parenting style.
Yeah. I would love to raise someone who knows that mom and dad are here to help and that we're gonna love him unconditionally, support him unconditionally as long as it's...
But also not afraid to try something new.
Yeah. I think for us, because we've talked about this a lot, that we want to teach him as he's young how to solve his own problems, how to find answers, rather than mom and dad saying, you know, like, this is who you need to be, this is what you need to do. I think it's rather than telling him, you know, this is your direction, saying, we're going to keep you safe. That is our first job. We're going to keep you in a nurtured environment, which is also a responsibility. But outside of that, like, discover things that you like, discover who you are. Yeah. And definitely I think we talked about, this is important because I am from a Hispanic family, Josh is from an Australian family, and we've talked about the fact that there's different parenting styles within our cultures. Yeah. What is like one of the main things that we talked about when we first talked about like raising kids as like a mixed culture?
We talked about taking the best of both cultures.
Yeah.
Like knowing that we will have our own struggles with the blending of it, because obviously our parents are very similar but very different.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to their parenting.
Yeah.
So we're just going to try and do our best to take both synergy. Have y'all talked, this is definitely from an American, have y'all talked about postpartum in terms of warning signs and how to help you and Baba? Ooh.
That's a fire question. That's a good question.
Prenatal classes told us what to look out for, but I feel like my goal as a husband is to make your life as easy as possible. Like I picture, like obviously you will be on maternity leave for like however long you choose to be. But I just picture like the moment I get home, you like have
like
the baby fed, and then do a roll, and then I'll come home and go for a run. Is the discipline that I want to create, and that way it gives her
Go
a break.
for a run.
Yeah, like take the baby for a run.
I was like,
put it in the
bye.
Put it in the pram and get him out of here so that you can get a break. But I don't know if that's like gonna help. But I feel like it's just trying to understand that it's not just you with the baby, like it's both of us. And I feel like as long as we are attentive to helping each other and being aware of the signs, we'll find out.
But I also think like it helps that like you as a social worker, I think there is a lot that you have naturally learned when it comes to people's behaviors and emotions, and I think you're naturally really good at that. We've talked about just like the warning signs of like postpartum depression, and how I think for me, most importantly, it's my job to ask for help. I know that I have a hard time asking for help, and so that's the first thing that we've kind of agreed on, is that.
And I feel like for us, the baby's coming along at the perfect time for my work, where it'll be born pretty much at the end of the school term. I'll be home for like the first 3 months to help out as much as I can.
But I think there's a lot we still have to learn about the postpartum journey and
100%,
the warning
there's
signs.
definitely more that we can learn.
Yeah. What are your do's and don'ts about parenting? That's spicy because it might change. We're like, we're gonna love him.
Yeah.
And then
I
we'll be
feel
like,
like the common theme is everyone has an idea of parenting,
Yeah.
and having a child, for like maybe have a child is not what you were expecting. But I feel like that's anything. It's like theory versus practice.
yeah, that's right. You can only
So,
look things up so much.
I don't have
until-
any do's or don'ts. The only thing I wouldn't do is tell my kid what he can or can't be.
Yeah,
He can
that's
be
right.
whatever he wants.
That's right. I think definitely I 100% agree with that, because he's going to have this like identity that we get to take care of.
There are things that he can't be, but those are pretty self-explanatory.
Well, yeah, there's like obvious things that we need to watch out for. There's things like keeping him safe, making sure that he's in a safe environment, making sure that he has this sense of intelligence, but also street smarts. Like those like obvious, that are obvious to us. But I think when it comes to his identity and his
What he wants to do with his
interests,
life.
his career, like I personally don't feel that our parenting style is going to be the kind of style that says like you should be a doctor over a English teacher, or you should be a this over that. I think our job is to cultivate what he's already born with, that he's naturally skilled at, and everyone's just trying their best, and so we're just gonna do the same. Another thing I would say as well is I don't want to discipline our children out of inducing fear. Like that is my biggest thing, is like, you know, we won't talk about like spanking or anything like that, because I don't think it's like our time for that. To each their own, and it's not our job to like advocate.
It all comes down to, you don't want your child to be afraid of you. You want them to respect you, but fear produces negativity, which can actually have negative effects on the kid's mindset and development.
Yeah, and you don't want to psychologically train him that, you know, if he does something wrong, there's going to be like rejection or a lack of care or fear or whatever. Like you want to teach consequence, but
repercussions to actions,
but you don't want to, you know, induce fear that doesn't need to be there.
Best part about becoming a dad, I think it's just the mental image in my head. I have this random image of me sitting on the couch watching a basketball game with my son on
your chest?
Not chest, but on my lap. And we're just watching it together. I feel like having those moments of just appreciating something together, with me showing my passion for something with him, is what I look forward to the most.
Okay. How did you meet? We
met at church.
We met at church. I was, at that time I was an intern for our local church, with helping oversee our creative department. I was under the person who was overseeing the department. And so one Sunday morning, I remember I had like set everything up and all of that. I was helping people find seats and hosting. I had seen you by the entrance in the corner hanging out with like a bunch of young people.
Long, greasy.
He had like long curly hair, like a little bit shorter than my hair, and13. And there was kids there that were quite young, like 12, 13. And so I was like, who is this person that I've never seen before talking to these 12-year-olds? I was like, stranger danger. Yeah, I was like, stranger danger. I don't know him, so let's make sure that he's a safe person, right? And so then I walked over to you, and what happened?
She asked if I was okay, and I said yes. And she said, do you have a seat? And I said yes. And then she's like, are you new here? And I said no.
You said yes. You played it off. You were like, yeah, I'm new here. And I was like, oh, cool. Do you know anyone? You said yeah. And I said, okay, sweet. I'm like, well, I'm just making sure that someone's like said hi to you and that you feel like welcome. But low key, I was just making sure that he wasn't like some like weirdo. Yeah. I was playing keys that day at church, and I was kind of like, he's like sitting at the front, like, but I've never seen him before. Like, what's the deal here? And so then during the service, they announced you as the new youth pastor. And I was like, okay, he's safe, he's not weird. And now I'm really embarrassed because I totally just like profiled him. So that was a lesson learned. Do not judge a book by its cover, because firstly, it's rude, but secondly,
you just shouldn't judge people. Things by my appearance at the time.
Okay, well, we have hit all of our questions today, which is awesome. Is there any final words that you'd like to leave everyone with?
Like and subscribe. I'm joking. I feel like you really love doing this thing, and it's creative, and it's expressing your creativity in a different way. And I'm proud of you for taking a chance and doing something that you love.
No, that's very nice. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed that, you should
hit the subscribe button down below. Give it a little thumbs up.
Drop us a little comment what your favorite answer
if you
was.
Want a sponsor, always welcome.
The more confident one of the bunch. Thanks guys, we'll see ya.